You don't need it all figured out. You just have to take action. Decide and go. Okay. You make a decision, you line up with it, you go. That's what it is to be in the arena. And that's the piece that's uncomfortable for a lot of high performers, high achievers, because we like to have everything figured out before we go, right? We like to have all the things in place, all the research done, but that's not how this works. That's not how the arena works. That's not how real legacy works. That's not how real impact works. You got to just go. Is you decide, you line up with your decision, and you go. You never know if something's going to work or not until you do it. That's it. But if you are making a decision and then you're wishy-washy about the decision, what do you think is going to happen to the results? Wishy-washy as well. Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I've helped hundreds of creative entrepreneurs and business owners to take back their free time, generate additional revenue, and celebrate while living that work from anywhere lifestyle through creating online courses and digital education. So I'm super excited that you are here. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Right? Let's get it. Hello. What is going on? Awesome. Party peeps. Let me go ahead and reapply this gloss. I should have did it before I hit the live button, but here we are. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited that you all are here. I'm excited to be live and back. It's been a minute and I'm just excited to be here. So I'm excited to be in the arena. Welcome to In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. And this is going to be a ride, okay? I am so excited to be here. So happy to be back. You know, I thrive. If you're not new here, then you know I thrive in these live environments. And so I'm just super excited. I'm excited to interact with you all, to chat with you all through. This is going to be one of my longest lives that I've ever done. And so I am here. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I hope that you are too. I've been missing y'all so much. So I've been missing these lives. Let me go ahead and make sure that we have a team inside of the chat. They're going to be monitoring comments and chats and all those things while you are here, while we're ramping up. Please go ahead and drop your name in the chat, where you're from or what time it is, where you're currently watching from. I always like to see who is tuned in. All right, let's get into it. Awesome sauce. Awesome. All right, let's go, y'all. All right. So first of all, welcome to episode 1 of In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. I am your host. And if you're just joining again, go ahead and drop your name, where you're from, where you're tuning in from, or what time it is. I always want to know who is here and where y'all are watching from. I love the global reach inside of this community. So if you do not know who I am, my name is Dr. Sonia. I've spent years helping high performers, C-suite executives, entrepreneurs, people who know that they have more to offer the world. I've been helping them turn what they know into premium programs that are going to create legacy, impact, all of those things. Awesome. Let me make sure I got my team in the chat. Hello. Awesome. Drop it in the chat again, where you're from and what time it is, where it is that you currently are. I love it. Love interacting live. I'm just waiting for the team to jump into the chat. Kat, if you're there, drop a message into the chat. I appreciate you, so I can go ahead and add you as moderator. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So here's what I know. There's a lot of people who are sitting in the stands right now, which is why I named this In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. Okay. People are in the stands. They're still researching. Maybe it's you. I'm not calling you out, but if it's you, you're in the right place. I promise I got you. People are planning, still waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready. And maybe you're somebody who's been thinking about premium courses or turning what you know into a legacy, more impact, and creating transformation for other people. But maybe it's been a couple years. All right. 2 years, a year, 6 months. If it's been 2 weeks, I just want you to know that it's been too long. Like, stop sitting on the idea. And that's the premise for In the Arena, right? It's time to get out of the stands, in the arena, because the legacy, the impact that you really want to make does not happen in the stands. All right. It happens in the arena. So again, you're in the right place. That's exactly what this show is about. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to talk about what it actually takes to step in the arena, to build something that really matters, that makes an impact, to share your wisdom, create the life, the business that you've been dreaming about. Okay. So this week we're doing masterclasses. Next week, we're going to be doing some hot seats. Okay. And then, The following week, I got something really special. I'm excited to actually launch that following week. I love all of it, but the following week I have a surprise. And then we'll wrap the month out with some office hours, Q&A, all those things. But I'll keep you posted on what that schedule looks like as we go. Make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you know when the episodes are dropping. So tonight, we're going to be talking about what the arena is, where the transformation actually happens. So let's get into it. Let me make sure that my team is in the chat. Hey, what's going on? Tasha, it's good to see you. Katrina, hello. Awesome. Let me go ahead and add you as moderator. Perfect. There you go. I appreciate you. Tasha, what's going on? It's always good to see my mentees in the building. Hello. I'm excited. I'm so excited that y'all are here. All right, so let's get into it. What is the actual arena? All right, the arena is where you're visible, super visible. And can I be honest with you? It's somewhere that is not comfortable. It's never comfortable. You are creating impact. You're super exposed. You are learning in real time. You're implementing and creating in real time. And this happens a lot inside of my programs. This also happens a lot for me in this business. Okay. A lot. And so it's this process where you kind of you're starting something new, right? Like, and this happens to all of my mentees, all of my students as they get started. Even this tonight for me is really new. If I can be super transparent and vulnerable with you, I'm used to doing lives. I'm used to being a big personality, right? I have been, if you ask my parents, I've been a big personality since I was a little girl. But you would never really know it because for a long time, I was in this space, corporate career, traditional education, just in spaces where I felt like I had to kind of like dim down a little bit, right? I won't say dumb down, but like dim down a little bit just to make other people feel comfortable. And so after a while, the more you do that, the more you become used to it, right? Like the more it becomes a habit. And so when I entered into entrepreneurship and I actually took the jump, it pushed me into this discomfort all over again. I had to find my footing. And as I am continuing this journey of entrepreneurship, it'll be almost 10 years. Okay. So I quit my job in 2018, 2028, it'll be 10 years, which is wild to even think about. But I am still like every single day, it feels like there's an opportunity to learn. And so the arena is where you are exposed. You are learning in real time. You are implementing in real time. And I always say it is so beneficial to have a mentor while you're doing that, especially if you're somebody who wants to be a mentor to other people. I truly believe you can't really be a mentor unless you have a mentor, right? Like if you're going to ask somebody, and let me like reframe this. If you're going to ask someone to pay you to teach them something, then shouldn't you be invested in yourself, right? Like, and this is how it always works. And it's so much easier. And for me, it's been this way, right? I'm trying to find the words behind this, but it's so much easier when you get in the room and you invest in yourself at higher levels and you get around people who are also doing the same, it's so much easier for you to charge at higher levels, right? Like a lot of people want to be charging premium, but haven't invested premium. It's easier when you've invested premium to go ahead and start charging premium. It feels like home, right? So again, these things are uncomfortable, and this is exactly what the arena is about exposing these unspoken things that we don't really want to talk about out loud, but we need to talk about them because they make the business, okay? They make the goal, they make the forward progress. And so the arena is where the legacy is built. It's the work that gets done. That's not just the strategy, right? It's where your story becomes somebody else's breakthrough. But in order to tell it, you got to get visible. You got to get a little bit vulnerable. And so that's what this is about. Okay. So super important. Let me know inside of the chat if you're comfortable, all right, where you are in the process of building your legacy, building your business. Are there some of the things and these are like the super vulnerable moments of these episodes, which I'm so excited to bring this live. Like I'm so excited to have this space, this community where we can talk about things that not a lot of people are talking about. And there's a space to be able to do it, right? So drop questions inside of the chat, drop any comments that you have, right? About like, are you in the arena? Are you ready to step into the arena? Are you ready to step fully into the arena? Because like sometimes it's easy to tiptoe into it and tiptoe back out. Okay. Been there, done it. Even like I said, this space right here, although I'm used to going live, I usually do like 5 to 10 minutes real quick in the morning. So this is something that is completely different for me, a different audience, right? Different reach, all of those things. And so I was nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I do lives, as much as I teach, as much as if you know me, as much as I show up, these kind of things also still make me nervous. And I had a mentor one time tell me that even though he is, doing a few $100 million per year from one business, he is now a billionaire, right? He still said my hands shake when I get on stage, they sweat, okay, all of the things. And so it's that. And I don't think it's ever really going to go away, especially at the level you're at when your story is exposed or when you start to feel vulnerable. But there's so much breakthrough for somebody else in you sharing your story. And so that's why I teach the way that I teach. So the cost of staying in the stands, okay? So we know what the arena actually is now. It's this space where we actually create the impact, where we start to uncover pieces of our story and pieces of ourselves. Now, I always say this to my mentees, and I'm going to put this here tonight. When you teach, you're teaching from scars, not wounds. Okay. So scars are places that you have healed from. There are things that you have gone through and now you're able to talk about, because if you start teaching from wounds, places that aren't quite healed, a bruise is still sensitive to the touch. Okay. An open wound is still sensitive to the touch. And so you either injure yourself more or you're hurting somebody else. Okay. Because you're spilling all over somebody else. And so instead of doing that, we teach from places that we have healed from. All right. So that's being in the arena. Being in the arena is not necessarily digging into wounds, but it's being exposed. It's doing things that take you outside of your comfort zone, because those are the things that are going to build legacy. Those are the things that are going to create the most impact. Those are the things that are going to help somebody else break through. A lot of my mentees, a lot of my clients come to me, they work with me. There's plenty of people, right, who teach online courses. They can't teach it like me though. All right. Because I tell my story. I share it transparently. I talk about the things that I've actually done and been through. That's the piece that's missing from a lot of online course creators. Okay. And this is why online courses are getting a bad rep, if you will. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. I didn't have like 4 cups of coffee. I don't know if y'all can tell, but yeah. We are here. Okay. And so this is why online courses typically get a bad rep, is because people are going through other people's courses and programs and information, or pulling from free YouTube videos. Okay. And then trying to teach something that I haven't actually been through. So you want to teach from your life experiences. So the cost of staying in the stands is really for you. So stepping into the arena is for somebody else's breakthrough. The cost of staying in the stands affects you. Okay. This is spectatorship. This is staying in the stands as you are a spectator of your own life. And when I look back at my corporate career, I'm like, man, I was doing that for a long time. I was living my life, but I was really like, you ever feel like, I guess let's get kind of like vulnerable again. It's like kind of an out of body experience, right? Like where like one day you wake up and you look at your life, you look at how it's been going, and you don't feel like you've genuinely been a part of it. Sounds weird, but it doesn't sound weird if you've been through it, right? You've been a spectator in your own life. You're researching forever. You're waiting for perfect timing to do something. You're collecting more certifications. You're doing all the things that keep you busy, but are actually taking you nowhere. When I think about it, the funny illustration pops in my head, and maybe I'm dating myself or aging myself a little bit, but the Flintstones, right? Like when they went to go in the car, those little feet were going fast, but sometimes it looked like they were just spinning in place. And so a lot of sometimes what we're doing as high performers, especially if we're not in the arena actually building, we're researching, we're waiting for perfect timing. We are spectating our own lives. You don't need more certifications. You don't need more degrees. Those things are nice to have, sure, but you don't need more before you step into the arena. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Are you with me? All right, drop it in the chat. Let me know if that makes sense, if you are with me. Okay. There's somebody else. Here's the thing that really got me like off my butt and really into action, into the arena. I was watching other people with less experience, less expertise, but more courage than me do the thing that I actually was supposed to be doing. And I was like, some of the people in the industry, some of the people who were doing the thing and had the courage to do the thing that I should have been doing, were leading people astray, like weren't actually giving people what they needed to move forward. And that made me feel away. That made me feel away. To this day, I still feel away when I see people teaching online courses, or I see people teaching just wrong concepts. And they can be, let me put this here too, because sometimes you look online and you see people who you feel like are further along than you, who've been in the game longer than you, who have made more progress than you feel like you are currently making. And it can make you feel like you want to stay where you are, right? Like if I put myself out there and this person sees that. Pro tip for your courses: you are not creating content, you're not stepping in the arena to compete with anybody else. You're stepping in the arena to be somebody's breakthrough. Okay. Your story is somebody's breakthrough. You're stepping in the arena to make impact, to help somebody else. So you're not competing with, most people are posting content to impress their peers. You're not competing with your peers. You're not trying to one up anybody who's already in your industry. Your goal is to help the people you've been assigned to help. And so when I started seeing people who had less experience, less expertise, and it wasn't to shade them, but I felt like the people that I wanted to help, the people who I was assigned to help, watching them go into these programs with people who were not helping them, with people who were doing things with the wrong intentions or who had the wrong reasons. And I never name names. I'm never here to shade anybody. But I do believe in being ethical in business. I do believe in leaning into your morals in your business. And so that gave me more courage, even if I wasn't going to do it for myself, to do the thing that I needed to do for the people that I was supposed to help. Does that make sense? Drop it in the chat if that's making sense. Okay. If it's something that you've been thinking about, and if you're thinking about how can I do this for me, how can I motivate myself to do this, I want you to start thinking about who's waiting for your story, who's waiting for you to have the courage enough to step up and actually serve the people you're supposed to be serving. Okay. The other thing that I started thinking about is like, I was going to a lot of funerals. So I don't tell this story a lot, but in my, I think it was my second or third year of undergrad, I went to a lot. I went to a lot of funerals, and I had like a booklet this thick of people in my family, close family members, friends of the family as well, who passed away. And it took a toll on me more than I realized at the time. But my grades started slipping, all sorts of things started happening. And I started to really take inventory of, again, not being a spectator over my own life. Like, I was a bio major for 3.5 years. This is a wild story. So I was a bio major for 3.5 years. I was doing it because I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. The thing that changed my mind, now, mind you, my first semester of undergrad, I had a 1.7 GPA. Call it what it is, right? Maybe, and most people are like, no way. Yes, way. Okay. Yes, way. A 1.7 GPA, almost flunked out of school. I'm going to say, okay, I wasn't necessarily prepared to actually do the work. You know, I was one of those high achieving kids who went through high school, went through middle school, barely did the homework. Okay, but still got A's and B's. Don't know how it happened. Waited until the last minute to actually do my projects. My mom would be upset, highly upset. Like, you need a poster board at 8 p.m. the night before the project is due. Yeah, mom, I do. Right? That was me. So when I got to college, that did not translate. 1.7 GPA is what happened. I was still there. I was pushing through. I did not like the in-class work. I didn't like reading and regurgitating things. Like, that wasn't what I was interested in. I loved the labs. So I liked mixing chemicals together. I like learning about different fungi, right? And things that live in our mouths and our noses. It was weird, but it was interesting to me. And so I learned a lot. But then we got to a lab as a bio major. It was my third year. We got to a lab where we had to cut things open. So we had to cut open sharks and worms and all kind of stuff. And when we started doing that, I was like, no way, I'm out. I have been taking women's studies courses, Black American studies courses, psychology classes up until that point. And so I really fell in love with those, all A's and B's. For some reason, I couldn't see the pattern of my coursework, my biology coursework. I was getting C's. You know, I was a C student, which I wasn't used to, but I never paid attention to it until we got in the labs and we started cutting things open. And so it was at that point, it's like, well, if you're going to, I made a shift. I changed to psychology, women's studies, Black American studies, right? Got some dual degrees there. But it started making me realize that you want to give your wisdom. Like, you don't want legacy. You don't want to do things just because the world is teaching you to do those things, right? Or go about your life. This is what I mean by spectating. Go about your life doing the things because you think it's the right thing to do. Because that's what I was told. Climb the corporate career ladder. Go into, if you want to be a doctor, be a biology major, right? You got to be a chem major, biology major. You got to go into some sort of sciences. Well, that's not true. But I didn't find that out until after I graduated undergrad, which I'm thankful because it set me on the path that I'm on now. So all of your life experiences, pro tip for your courses, have set you up, okay, to teach what you know now. You teach from your mistakes. You teach from scars, right? Again, not the wounds, but the scars, like the places that you've been, mistakes that you've made, but then also understanding here's how to do it the right way. So you eliminate a lot of the mistakes in teaching. So you don't teach the mistakes, you teach from the mistakes, right? So you distill lessons from your life experiences to teach to somebody else. Here's the right way to do it. Here's how to navigate around or skip over the mistakes, save yourself the time, money, energy. That's what you teach. And so the real cost of spectating became for me like understanding, looking at the stack of people who passed away, even up to last year, my grandfather passing. There were so many things that I learned about my family after they were gone, right? My family members. And I'm like, wait, I didn't know my grandfather had so many businesses. So I was like, oh my God, like entrepreneurship is a thing. My mom is the spirit of entrepreneurship. My dad is a great inventor. Like, it's just all of these things all the way around. And so I knew that I did not want, like at that moment, I'm like, I don't want my legacy. I don't want my wisdom to leave with me, right? I want to be able to create something. And a lot of my clients and students have realized this as well. And probably about 3 years into my business, I had a client literally say it verbatim, something I couldn't put into words during our initial call, right? So she said, I want to be able to leave something for my grandkids that and my great grandkids that when I'm not around, they can still hear my voice, they can see my mannerisms, and they have a blueprint of something that I built for them. When she said that, everything clicked for me. I was like, that's exactly it. I haven't been able to put it into words, but I knew it was like, okay, there's this digital legacy that has to happen. It's not just about passing down LLCs, deeds, right? Keys, those sorts of things. It's about how do you teach somebody how to keep those things, how to sustain those things, but also how to grow those things. That's the piece. That's the wisdom. Don't let your wisdom die with you. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. I say this all the time, and I'm like, we got to be able to use the wisdom. Okay, the knowledge is a thing that you can pick up. It's something that you can learn secondhand. You can read a book, you can take a course, you can watch a video. It's knowledge, right? And you can even do some things, okay, to gain the knowledge on how to do it. But the wisdom is in distilling those lessons. The wisdom comes from how do I apply what I've learned. And this is the issue I've always had too. One of the qualms I have with traditional education is like, we need more application. It's one thing to sit in a classroom, but it's like, where does all that information go? I can think about so many things that I learned in elementary school that I have no use for. I feel I have no use for, right? Or things that I feel like when it comes up, it's like, oh yeah, that thing. It's like, well, if we have more practical application on things, right? It would make more sense. We could apply the lessons to our daily lives. That's what wisdom is. So that's the piece that you want to package into a premium course. All right. I hope this is making sense because this had to click for me. Even though I started teaching and understanding more and more, it started clicking for me more about why I was helping other people do this and why I wanted to teach it so bad, because I just knew I wanted to teach it. I stopped teaching university classes for a while and just went into developing courses for them because I was like, there's something about this that like I want to teach, right? Like I don't want to just teach the class. I want to teach how to actually do this. And so that was one of the reasons. It's like packaging somebody's wisdom, helping somebody package a digital legacy. All right. So that's the cost of staying in the stands. It's like our wisdom dies with us if we don't find a way to package it and truly pass it down, not just by word of mouth. Like I don't want to just wait until I don't want anybody to wait until I'm gone to realize the impact that I made while I was here. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like
We just don't need that to happen. We can create the digital legacy. Okay. Also, staying in the stands, somebody else is going to somewhere else, somebody with less expertise, less experience, and allowing them to teach them or maybe lead them astray just because that person had more courage to step out than you sitting in the stands, right? Or being a spectator. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, I got to move. So here's the third thing is actually how to move. It's not about having it all figured out. All right. Like you can't do that. You can't wait until it's all figured out. It's about decisive action. Because what you don't want to happen, and this happened to me several times, waiting until the moment I had to move, and then you stumble through the decision. You're stumbling, trying to figure it out, okay, on the go, like, oh my God, and you're scrambling. It's not necessary, especially if a lot of times people know what they have to do, but they're not doing it. And here's what I mean by that. And again, this is no shade. I'm telling you because I've been here and I have to remind myself, right? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. There's somebody out there who already has it figured out. Why would I spend the unnecessary time and energy trying to figure this thing out on my own, fumbling through, stumbling through, when I can just talk to somebody who already has it figured out? And if I need to hire that person, I'm just going to pay the person what they say they want to be paid in order to learn that thing, if it's that important to me. That's my thing. You just got to take the action. So for me, it was leaving my 9 to 5 before I had a real plan in place. I had a business plan. I hired a consultant, spent about $7,500 doing that. Still didn't know what to do. Still didn't know where to start. I had the business plan. I had all these ideas from my head on paper, but then I'm looking at the paper and I'm like, okay, what's first? What do I do first? What do I do next? Where do I go to find this resource? So I finally hired a mentor, right? Like I launched a course with what I knew and I did $12,542. I will never forget that number in less than 14 days. And then I was like, I need a mentor. Like I want to be able to sustain my success. So it's like if I'm going to, here was my logic, right? Logical and emotional mind. I'm gonna give it to you in 2 seconds. My logic was this. My logic was if I'm gonna go to school and I'm going to pay X amount of dollars, a lot of amount of dollars, okay? And I'm going to take out student loans to learn from somebody who's probably not even doing the thing that they're teaching me, which I found that was the case with a lot of my instructors, a lot of my professors, just qualified on paper, okay? If I'm going to do that, then why can't I self-educate? Why can't I go out and hire somebody who actually has the practical wisdom? They have done the thing, the applied knowledge. Why can't I go hire them to teach me what they know? And not just what they know, what they've done. Teach me the best way to get there. So I decided, right? That is the piece. Is not having it figured out. I had no idea how to do this thing. I lost a bunch of money on ads. If you know anything about my story, if you don't, I lost a bunch of money on ads. Okay. I was running ads because I thought they were cute. They were pretty. I saw everybody else doing it. And I was like, I'm supposed to be doing this thing too. I ran radio ads. Don't even ask me. I ran radio ads. I ran Facebook ads. I ran YouTube ads. I ran all kind of stuff. Google. I was doing all kind of things without the knowledge. Like that's base, but definitely without the wisdom. So I lost all my savings essentially, and I invested my last amount of money in hiring a mentor, and that's what got me to where I am today, because I refuse to not have a mentor. Like I refuse to try to figure stuff out on my own. You go faster with the support. You go faster just gleaning from somebody else's wisdom than trying to create your own. Like that is forever to me, and I'm just not going to do it. I don't have to. You never have to reinvent the wheel in order to achieve anything. It's already available to you. Now, once you, it's just like a recipe, right? A food recipe. Once you have the recipe down, once you understand what you're cooking with, all right, then you can go ahead and tweak it as you want to tweak it to make it how you like it, how you want it to taste. But first, we got to get the recipe down. Okay, we got to understand exactly how to make the thing first, especially if we've never made it. It's the same thing with your courses, same thing with your business goals. This is what it means to be in the arena. All right. It's decisive action, not having it all figured out, not trying to make everything pretty, not the brand fonts, not the website all put together. I'll be honest with you. Also, pro tip, lots of my clients, my mentees, they don't have websites. Okay. Some of them don't start with websites. I should say that. They have websites now, but they didn't start with websites. And the ones who did start with a website did not send their premium paying clients to a website to book. All right. That's not how they close the sale. So you don't need a website. That's what I want to say. All right. You don't need a website. You don't need the pretty colors and brand fonts and all those things that people are telling you. I was reading something today that actually somebody that I look up to in the space was completely teaching the wrong thing about courses. And I was like, oh man, oh man, right? Every single line that I was reading, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, no, 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 no. Why are you telling people this? No. And that's what I mean. Like, they could have the best intentions, still very respectable, could have the best intentions, but they're not as knowledgeable. They don't have the expertise. It's the same thing with you. And this is somebody who's way, has like very aspirational. Like, I'm like, yeah, let me get there, right? But they don't have the expertise that I have when it comes to premium courses. Same thing with you. There's somebody teaching right now. Maybe they have the best intentions, but they're leading people astray. They don't know, they don't have the wisdom, okay, that you have to be able to teach it. So don't have it all figured out. You don't need it all figured out. You just have to take action, decide, and go. Okay. You make a decision, you line up with it, you go. That's what it is to be in the arena. And that's the piece that's uncomfortable for a lot of high performers, high achievers, because we like to have everything figured out before we go, right? We like to have all the things in place, all the research done, but that's not how this works. That's not how the arena works. That's not how real legacy works. That's not how real impact works. You got to just go. Is you decide, you line up with your decision, and you go. You never know if something's going to work or not until you do it. That's it. But if you're making a decision and then you're wishy-washy about the decision, what do you think is going to happen to the results? Wishy-washy as well, right? So you want to make a decision, line up with it, go. That's just it. All right. You do not need to know every single detail, every single part. And can I be like for real with y'all? So when my clients and mentees start with me, this is one of my favorite things. They start with me and they're like, okay, but after I do this part, then what? Like, what do I do? What happened? And then sometimes our questions are like 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead. And I'm like, just wait 1 second. I promise. Lay the foundation first. Trust the process. Follow the blueprint. You got it. And that is like so demonstrative of us as high performers, right? Of us as high achievers. Like, we got to know what the puzzle looks like before we put it together. And a lot of business, a lot of being in the arena, a lot of jumping in, right? Jumping first. You may not see the picture on the front of the box of the puzzle before you open that box and start putting it together. Sometimes you got to just trust the process and put it together. Now, I'm not saying go in completely blind. This is what I mean by having a mentor. Once you invest in a mentor, once you've made the decision, you invest in a mentor, you follow the blueprint, especially if you've vetted them well, which you should. Okay. There are plenty of resources on this channel to go check out, okay, about vetting mentors, right? But if you vet your mentors well, you just follow the process, and it's that simple. So many of my mentees have gotten results just because of that. But I promise it's very characteristic, okay? Tasha's like, I definitely did that. Me too. Me too. My mentors will tell me, yes, she definitely did. It's something that you have to, I won't say turn off, but I was effectively coached through it, right? And mentored through that process, because it is a mindset shift too. It's like, oh, I am doing this thing that I've never done before. I have no idea how to actually do it. And here I am still trying to control the narrative. Is that type A? It's like, let me control this part. Are you sure I gotta have? And it's like, no, let go. Let go, hands off. You made the decision, you lined up with it, you invested in a mentor. And that's part of the coaching process that I use today with my mentees as well. Tasha, you've been there, right? It's like, okay, you hired me as your mentor. You got to trust the process. Let's do it. And then they get results. Tasha got results too, right? So, and it's usually within the first like 21 to 30 days. Like, there are results. And I'm talking about measurable results. I'm not talking about just the mindset shift, but that is a major piece of what needs to happen before you even implement strategy and systems. I hope this is like super helpful, okay? Because I needed this. I wish somebody told me this stuff when I first got started. So this is why I created In the Arena. I'm excited that you're here. All right, so decisive action. And then know this. I want you to know this. And I'll end with this. The first move is always imperfect, but it's movement. That's the piece. It's never like your first move, never going to be perfect. but you're moving. So when I launched my first course, most people don't know this. It was a 4-hour class, 4 hours on a Saturday. It was December 1st on a Saturday. And I was like, I didn't even think about it at the time. But looking back, it's like, and I started with 2 students. I had 2 students in that class, and I taught it like it was 100 people in that class. And I will show up like that every time to this day. I don't care if there is one person in a class. I'm coming full energy. Okay. Like there's 100 people out here, because the impact, it goes back to what we talked about in point 1, right? It's the impact that you're making. It's the breakthrough that you're making. There have been so many mentees and clients of mine, I don't even want to get emotional, but I always do thinking about it, who have literally said the words, "You changed my life." Like, what? It's the impact that you make when you show up, when you go all in, when you just tell your story. It's not even about knowing everything about your topic or your industry or your market. It's about you telling your story and teaching and guiding people through the lessons, the wisdom that you've gained from your story and how it impacts other people. So it's never going to be perfect. I can't even say that I've ever taught a perfect class. Near perfect, right? But I can't say I've taught a perfect class ever. I'm moving though, because my impact is too important. And I want you to feel the same way, the same exact way. Yes, Tasha, okay? Done is better than perfect. That's one of the principles in every single Jump First class, every single Jump First program. Done is better than perfect. You got to move. Momentum rolls. Here's another principle. Momentum rolls forward and it rolls backwards. It rolls forward and it rolls backwards. Okay. So if that be the case, once you stop moving forward, once you stop the movement forward, where are we going? Right? We can't just stall out. We rolling, right? We're in motion. Okay. So we got to keep rolling forward. So first move, always imperfect, but it's movement. And then you keep moving. In the arena, you're visible, but that's a part of the process. All right. That's a part of the process. That is all I have for y'all tonight. Okay. I really, really appreciate y'all being here for the first episode of In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. I'm excited to bring these again every Tuesday, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We get vulnerable. All right. But we get visible and we are moving forward. So here's what I want you to remember. The arena is not comfortable. It is not a comfortable place. It will never be a comfortable place. All right. You're going to be visible. Visible. It's a new word. All right. You're going to be visible. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to make mistakes. But it's also where legacy is built, is where your story becomes someone else's breakthrough. So you owe it to yourself. If you're not going to do it for you, do it for them. All right. Do it for your legacy. Do it for the people you're meant to show up and serve. This is where legacy is built. So the question is, are you ready to step in the arena? We are back here again on Thursday night, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern time for episode 2. We're going to go deeper, and I do want you here. If you have found value in tonight's episode and you are new here, hit the subscribe button, okay? The like button, bell notification, so you know when these episodes drop. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. I'm super excited about what's to come in the upcoming weeks. I got some surprises, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited about In the Arena. So if you're ready to also actually build out your premium program, shameless plug, of course. All right. You're going to go ahead and you want support. You're going to go to jumpfirstacademy.org. So you're going to book a strategy session. Over there is also additional resources to help you get started. So there's a mini training over there, resources that you can either get for free or you can purchase. You choose your pathway to success. And then you can also book a strategy session there. Again, it's jumpfirstacademy.org. Kat will put the link inside of the chat. And then you can also find it in the description. We'll drop it in the description of this episode. Perfect. Thank you, Kat. And then you'll also find it in the link in the bio, okay, of Jump First Academy. I appreciate y'all tonight. Thank you so much for hanging with me for my first episode. I don't know if you could tell, but hey, the nerves are here. But guess what? We're visible. We are jumping in. Welcome to the arena. All right. I'll see y'all back here next time. Have an amazing, amazing night. Bye, y'all.